Good afternoon, I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. Early voting ends today, and Election Day is fast approaching this Saturday. Decisions on many people and proposals with both immediate and long-term impact will have voters going to the polls. Some of these elections include the Corpus Christi ISD Board of Trustees elections. Also, Flower Bluff ISD is asking voters to consider 3 bond proposals totaling $193 million to address aging facilities and growing enrollment. Meanwhile, the City of Victoria is hoping voters will respond to the needs for improvements to the Victoria Community Center. These are just some items across the state. For the full list of what your local ballot includes, you can visit your city, zip code, or even the state of Texas at vote411.org/ballot. Corpus Christi City Council is meeting today, and they have several items on the agenda, including welcoming Brooke Kaufman, the new CEO of Visit Corpus Christi. Of the over 20 items to be presented in a block vote, these include accepting a $100,000 grant for airport maintenance to maintain the runway taxiway at Corpus Christi International Airport, as well as replacing the security system at the airport for over $189,000. Also included is an $11.8 million state grant for the Holly Road Trestle Project, trail underpass design and construction, plus a $1.3 million ARPA match, and a $15.1 million wastewater resiliency grant for upgrades at the Greenwood and Oso plants. You can view the full agenda on the city's website. Corpus Christi Police and the SWAT team were called out to the 300 block of Foster Drive Monday morning surrounding a home between Santa Fe and Longview. The call came in around 7:30 a.m. as a neighbor called police after seeing a suspicious man with a gun walking around the house. Police say multiple people were being held hostage at one point, and officers were able to call out 2 women and 1 man. When officers entered the home, they found a man with minor injuries who was later taken to the hospital. Dontrell Tap Hawkins and Rakeem Sharkley were arrested for burglary of habitation with intent to commit other felony and unlawful restraint. The SWAT team cleared the home as a precaution, and no one was seriously injured. The Corpus Christi ISD District Board of Trustees indefinitely tabled a plan to permanently close Shannon Estates and Castores Elementaries during its regularly scheduled meeting yesterday. The proposal centered around maintenance issues at both campuses, including roofing repairs and deteriorated portable buildings. In the end, the board decided not to move forward with closing either school at this time, citing families being the main reason when considering any move or consolidation. Continuing on in education news, education and child advocacy leaders are warning against a proposal to eliminate a federal program aimed at helping low-income families. As the Texas Newsroom's Lucio Vasquez reports, advocates say getting rid of the Head Start could devastate Texas families.
Head Start provides education, health, nutrition, and family support services to young kids from low-income families. The Trump administration is expected to soon unveil a budget proposal that will eliminate the program. Deborah Bergeron, deputy director of the National Head Start Association, says doing that would severely impact Texas. The state's already struggling through a child care crisis after losing nearly 75,000 providers in the last year.
So part of me just wonders if Head Start is getting lumped into something that it isn't, and there just needs to be a deeper dive into the program itself.
Bergeron also questions why the program's potentially being targeted, since its goal is to help families become self-sufficient. I'm Lucio Vasquez in Houston.
Calhoun County will discuss a proposed tax break of over $248 million for ExxonMobil. The special meeting will be at 5 p.m. today in the County ISD boardroom at 525 North Commerce Street in Port Lavaca. The tax incentive is tied to ExxonMobil's plan to build a petrochemical plant, also known as an ethane cracker. ExxonMobil projects the facility will create 300 jobs in exchange for the tax break. The new Harbor Bridge is expected to be unveiled next Saturday with a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the Solomon Ortiz Center. The new bridge's vision began in 2003 with input from the Texas Department of Transportation, the City of Corpus Christi, the Port of Corpus Christi, and the community. Construction began in 2016 and was originally planned to be completed in 2020. The new bridge features a main span of over 1,600 feet and reaches a height of 538 feet at the peak of each support pylon. The estimated cost for the new Harbor Bridge is around $1.2 billion. The historic rainfall in the Rio Grande Valley last month affected an Edinburgh CISD elementary school with E. coli, as it was closed Monday due to flood and sewage overflow. Now the district is working with an engineer they hired to prevent the sewer system from backing into Canterbury Elementary School. During a Monday press conference, the district said Canterbury Elementary will be partially closed after a report revealed E. coli in the floorboards of parts of the campus. According to the district, the E. coli stems from a sewage backup that happened after a historic rainfall flooded the Rio Grande Valley last month. Edinburgh CISD District Superintendent Mario Salinas said the campus underwent a deep cleaning following the sewage backup. Members in the Texas House passed several constitutional amendments yesterday. If also approved by the state Senate, these items will end up on the ballot this November for Texas voters to decide on. While proposed changes to the Texas Constitution are suggested by lawmakers nearly every legislative session, this time it sticks out. That's because Texas Democrats had said they'd prevent any amendment proposals from passing, something the Texas Newsroom's Blaze Gainey reports was part of a strategic move.
For a constitutional amendment to pass in the Texas House, it takes a supermajority of the chamber voting yes. That's 100 members or 2/3 of the chamber. Democrats have been trying to use that to their advantage this session, promising to vote down all constitutional amendments unless Republicans agree to let voters decide on education savings account on the ballot as well. Republicans didn't give in, though, and passed the school voucher bill last week. It's now on Governor Greg Abbott's desk, waiting to be signed.
ESAs are a done deal.
Sherry Greenberg is with UT Austin's LBJ School of Public Affairs and served a decade in the Texas House. Greenberg says even with a few constitutional amendments moving forward with votes from Democrats, it doesn't mean Texas Democrats are done deploying the strategy.
The question would be, are there any other things that Democrats perhaps are trying to get where they would continue to hold out on some of these?
One of the amendments that passed the House on Monday has to do with hardening the electric grid, an issue Greenberg says is important to all Texans.
I think what you are seeing is that at some point, all politics is local, right? And if you're in a situation where you feel I have to continue to do what I can to meet demand as far as the electric grid.
Greenberg says Democrats voting for that doesn't mean they won't work to stop other proposed constitutional amendments from Republicans this session. Texas' 89th legislature wraps up on June 2nd. I'm Blaze Gainey in Austin.
The CEO and founder of Morgan's, a San Antonio organization that gives space to children and adults with disabilities, recently wrote an opinion piece on a derogatory word making a comeback on social media. Texas Public Radio's Jackie Velez spoke to Gordon Hartman about the piece and what prompted him to write it.
Gordon Hartman has an adult daughter, Morgan, who has physical and cognitive disabilities. He says hearing the R word is something he's lived with for many years.
My daughter was very little, and she was called, and I'll use the word, she was called retarded, and I saw it happen. And because of her cognitive ability, she did not know what she was being called, but I did. And the hurt of that and the feeling of that was absolutely beyond anything that I can explain.
The R word was originally used as a medical term, but eventually transitioned to a word used to belittle people with cognitive disabilities. It's a word that had fallen out of use, but is now used by some high-profile figures, including politicians. Hartman says wielding the R word without thinking about its repercussions is harmful. He advises caregivers and family members to talk about it to their loved ones who may have experienced the encounter of being called the R word.
I think they need to be truthful with them. I think they need to tell them, in effect, what is being said to them, and that does not represent who they are. They bring so much joy and happiness by who they are to their family, to their friends, and to basically just ignore it and recognize that it's important that we see things in a positive light and try to express that as best they can.
I'm Jackie Velez in San Antonio.
Yesterday, Texas lawmakers were told the constant traffic jams on I-35 are a problem that's holding back the state, and the solution could be a high-speed rail between San Antonio and Dallas. Texas Public Radio's David Martin Davies reports.
State Representative Ray Lopez said he knows too well how unreliable the drive is between San Antonio and Austin.
We're behind the eight ball already. Traffic is growing. As a matter of fact, I experienced it this morning, leaving San Antonio at 5:30 in the morning to be able to be here by 8 o'clock. Virtually impossible.
The San Antonio Democrat is supporting HB 483 along with Representative John Busey, an Austin Democrat who says I-35's congestion is costing Texans.
This bill will repeal the outdated ban that blocks state investment in high-speed rail and direct TxDOT to partner with a private entity to build a state-of-the-art high-speed rail connecting Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio along the I-35 corridor.
The bill was left pending in committee. I'm David Martin Davies in San Antonio.
A bill that would expand efforts to lure film and TV production to Texas is heading to the House floor. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider says the measure passed a House committee yesterday on a strong bipartisan vote and without amendments.
Senate Bill 22, authored by Houston Senator Joan Huffman, passed the Senate earlier this month. If the full House passes it without changes, it heads to the governor's desk. SB 22 would increase Texas financial incentives to in-state film and TV production to $500 million every 2 years. That's up from $200 million now. The bill includes language requiring productions to adhere to family values to obtain funding. The bill leaves it up to the governor's office as to whether a production complies with that requirement. If it does not, the incentives can be yanked at any time. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
And if you happen to be listening near the city of McAllen, please don't attempt to feed the wildlife, specifically an alligator that has been spotted in the city. The city of McAllen is urging the public to use extreme caution after an alligator was reportedly sighted Monday near a canal. The canal is located on 2nd Street near Pecan Boulevard. People are advised to not approach, feed, or capture the animal. Despite the warning, video obtained by KRGV shows a crowd of people at the canal attempting to spot the alligator. If it is seen, immediately contact McAllen Animal Care Services at 956-681-1919 to report the sighting. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.